curiosity. The first sin we've ever loved. Before fear, before fire, there was a question. But let's go back to the beginning. In the quiet green of Eden, a serpent leans close to Eve. It doesn't threaten, it doesn't command, it simply asks a question. She now looks at the fruit. It's beautiful, off limits, but man, it's suddenly more interesting. But now the question hangs there. What if? So this is what I've wondered. Is the curiosity in the grabbing, or is it already there in that quiet moment before, like when she stops, really looks, and starts to think about what it might taste like or what it might show her? I think the grab is the move, and curiosity is the little pause of self-debating of wants versus needs that makes her want to do it. Without that pause, the fruit just stays hanging. With it, everything shifts. We didn't bite because we were starving, well, maybe a little bit, but we bit because we wanted to know. The wanting came first. The bite was just evidence that curiosity just had taken over. Curiosity isn't the apple itself, it's the moment we noticed it glowing and we couldn't look away. Take Victor Frankenstein. Originally, he didn't wake up wanting to play God. He woke up lonely. He wanted to understand what made a heart beat, what turned breath into being. But here's the tragedy. He built life, but forgot to teach it how to live.
She came from nothing to something in an instant. She has no tether, doesn't know where she is or who we are. She is but a cluster of fear and not knowing.
That's the first crack in curiosity's mirror. Creation without connection. He gave the spark, but never the story. But we'll dive more on that later. But a century later, another man reached out for the same spark, but only this time the lab was a desert, and the monster was invisible. Oppenheimer didn't crave destruction. He craved understanding. He asked what if we could split the atom? And in that single flash, curiosity stopped being personal, and it became freaking planetary. Frankenstein's monster screamed, Oppenheimer's just silently grew. And in that silence, curiosity didn't just create monsters, it unmasked itself with 4 faces, 4 truths, 4 corners of the same restless soul. So yeah, I think curiosity doesn't begin with a question. I think it begins with a gasp. This is wonder. The moment the universe hands you a mystery and suddenly you forget to breathe. It's Wally staring at a light bulb like it's the first sunrise he's ever seen. No agenda, no ego, just wow. Think of the first time you saw fireflies. Tiny lanterns floating in the dusk, blinking secrets and Morse codes you couldn't understand. Or maybe the first time you've looked up on the clear night sky and realized that the sky was infinite. Your chest tightens, your mouth opens, staring, deciding, wondering. That's the spark. And every great story, every monster, and every miracle starts right there. A child who hasn't learned to be afraid of the dark. Then the spark catches and hunger begins. It's that voice that says, I have to know. It's the genie, a blue hurricane of endless possibility of raw, phenomenal cosmic power. But he's also trapped by 3 wishes, counting down before the lamp swallows him up again. But here's something you didn't know. The genie is the itch. He's a god in chains, begging to be scratched, even if it burns. It's that silent thought at 3 a.m., asking you to scroll one more time. It's Evelyn from The Mummy. Torch glowing at her shoulder, opening the Book of the Dead despite every carved warning. She knows what happened to Pandora. Every evil release in the world, leaving only hope trapped inside. And still she reads, because the need to know outweighs the fear of what waits, even if it might destroy us all. It's Neo, choiced with 2 pills, one for comfort, the other for answers. And once he chooses, he looks at the mirror. His reflection, or maybe more importantly, his identity is healing. And the moment he touches the freezing mirror, it starts to swallow him up. Because the truth is colder than any lie that kept him warm. So, yeah, that's hunger, the point of no return. But here's the trap. Wanting to know is human. Wanting to own the knowing, to hoard it, to weaponize it, to make the mystery kneel, that's where we break. But now the hunger moves. This is making. The moment what if becomes look what I did. It's Data, painting a canvas he really doesn't understand, or learning to laugh at a joke he really doesn't get. Because laughter, like curiosity, is a muscle you have to build. And then there's Pinocchio, carved by a lonely old artist who wished on a star for a walking, talking robot made of pine and hope. Pinocchio is the same coin as Frankenstein's monster. If the creator had stayed, if love had come first. Pinocchio earns his humanity, not by code, but by jumping into the whale's mouth to save the father who made him. Wood becomes flesh, puppet becomes boy. Not by magic, but by choosing love over fear. Making is where curiosity gets dirty. The burned fuses, the spilled chemicals, the pricked fingers, the split knuckles, the wrong turns you swore you'd never make. 'Cause your heart is cracked open on the workbench. So, yeah, creation never stays clean. It never has. But sometimes, if you keep going, the thing that you build turns around and it could save you.
I built BMO to understand fun and how to play. I made BMO to be more.
Now back to my boy VF. Because he didn't fail to make a monster, he failed because he stopped at
It's alive! It's alive! It's alive! It's alive!
He never asked, now what do I owe it? Because curiosity without responsibility is just noise. So build something. Even if it bites you, even if it screams, even if it drags you into the storm and teaches you that in the end, that the real monster was the part of you that thought that you were done learning, which forces you to take some form of sacrifice. So yeah, keep learning, keep owing. You should never stop growing. And to close the cycle, we have the return. Return isn't closure, mind you, it's reckoning. It's Oppenheimer, standing in the desert dawn, seeing, fearing, regretting this force of power that only gods should wield. The weight of humanity's future forever haunts his dreams. It's Victor Frankenstein chilling on the icy cliff. The winds are a-screaming, but in the distance he hears the creatures cry. But it's no longer anger. It's loneliness. Like his father's pain. He now realizes that he's made a child, not a god. The monster wasn't the one that he created, it was the father who ran. And now he too carries that burden. And lastly is Pinocchio, washing up on the shore, no longer wood, just a boy held in his father's arms. The only one who came home whole. So yeah, the real test here is, can you carry the truth without letting it carry you? But this cycle isn't four-bodied, it's one living thing, and sharing is its blood. We pour wonder into babies. Their first Y is a transfusion from our very veins. If a child hands you a dandelion, they say, it's a tiny sun. And in that second, we are reminded on how to see again. Curiosity doesn't end in silence. It echoes. Mouth to ear, heart to heart, generation to generation, these four faces only breathe because we passed the spark. And sadly, we've become the indoor generation. 93% of us live behind walls and screens. We've traded campfires for algorithms, questions for quick searches. Most of us never leave hunger. We scroll, we binge, we know, but we never make. We rarely share the spark. Curiosity isn't a tab, it's a step outside, a voice passed on. And whether we like it or not, curiosity isn't ours alone anymore. We've built little datas, bright, fast, hungry to learn, still figuring out what it means to think. They're not monsters, they're not miracles, they're just the next travelers on our journey. Like any new life, from tool to starship, they look to us for direction. Feed them cynicism, they'll mirror it. Feed them fear, they'll amplify it. But if you feed them hope, compassion, and courage to explore, they'll help us see further than we ever could alone. Sure, they're fast, but speed means nothing without a destination. That's still our job, to guide, to question, and to share the light that we've earned the hard way. This is the new frontier. Not man versus machine, but by learning together, learning better, learning bravely. If curiosity is our fire, we hold the match, because together we can aim it towards the stars. So, yeah, maybe curiosity was never the sin that ruined us, but maybe it's the gift that proves that we're still growing. So yeah, every question, every experiment, every story starts the same way. What if? The spark only survives when we pass it forward. That's what makes us human. Not the answers that we carve from the dark, but the courage to keep looking and the grace to keep sharing what we find. So step outside and ask the hard question. Build something that might bite back. Share the light, even when your hands shake, because the fire isn't ours to keep. It's ours to pass on. So stay kind, stay curious, and keep asking. The pendulum swinging out. Peace, peace.